So, Nancy, before we start talking about the Spiritual Health Weekends, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Okay, I am Scottish, and my husband and I came from Scotland back in 1980 to start a band called Heartbeat. Really a team of people who loved music but also loved God too, and we wanted God to really use us and impact our society for God, and boy did he do that, just amazing. And then I stopped singing because I was a singer and my husband was a drummer, and I stopped singing and I started speaking and also started writing, and so now I'm a speaker and an author, and my same heart and desire is that I would impact people's lives.
Amazing. And tell us, how did the Spiritual Health Weekends first come about?
Okay, I was in America actually, and I was with my husband and we were speaking over in America at various churches, and in my own time with God one morning I heard God say to me, Nancy, when you go back to Britain I want you to start a women's event. And I immediately turned around to God and said, God, you have the wrong woman, that I do not even like women's events, because way back in the 1980s they were kind of second rate, you know, and I just didn't want to get involved with a women's event. And God said, yes, but what if you had a blank piece of paper and you were able to write down everything that you would want to do? And I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. So I started doing it. I would hold it in a 4-star luxury hotel. I would have a swimming pool, jacuzzi, steam room. I would have, you know, vibrant worship. I would have, you know, like really practical and dynamic teaching. I would have a group of people there who would just be there to serve and to really make sure every person when they arrived at the door felt special from the minute they arrive till the minute they leave. And we had a banquet, sort of down on my list was this banquet meal with some entertainment from our people, and I would have a, you know, what we call a perfumed prayer room and all sorts of different things really throughout the weekend. And God just basically turned around and said, well, go and do it. And so I did.
Amazing. And you've been doing them now for 25 years,
Yeah,
which is just incredible. Tell us, you've touched on it a little bit there, but tell us more about the heart behind the weekend.
Yeah, the heart is just what I said, to make sure every woman from the ages of teenage age right the way up to 90 or more feels special from the minute they arrive till the minute they leave. And it's for people who want to be pampered physically but also toned up spiritually at the same time. So it involves the whole person, and when each person comes, I want them to go away thinking, wow, I've never experienced anything like that. So the weekend is quite unique, it's very different, and we've had comments from women that said, you know, oh, I felt like a queen, and I'm like, yes, that's exactly what we want them to feel like.
Fantastic. Now, I know God has done so much in these weekends throughout the years. Can you just tell us a couple of stories?
Sure, yes. I mean, honestly, we have seen incredible things happen. We've seen people become Christians. We've seen people who are already Christians going deeper in their walk with God. We have seen people who have been in a wheelchair, get out of the wheelchair and run up and down the aisle. I mean, incredible stuff like that happen. And yeah, we've just had people who, I remember one lady came and her face was beaming. And I'm like, oh my goodness, she's definitely come to know God. And she said to me, Nancy, I just wanted to tell you, I came into this weekend as a practicing witch. She said, but I've come to know God and I'm just so full of joy. She came back the following year and her face was still glowing. And she said to me, Nancy, my face is still glowing. And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what we want to see. It's not just simply saying a prayer, it's being transformed and feeling that you are important and that what you do and how you act is important, not just to all of us at the weekend and other people too, but important to God. So that's what we want to portray.
Amazing. And I know a really special part of the weekends is the words that the ladies receive. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, the minute somebody books in, we put their name on a list, and that list is given to me. And every morning I have my time with God, and I say to him, Lord, would you give me some words for these ladies? Because God said to me, what do you want to see happen at the weekend? And one of the things I loved when I was going to a conference was where the person who was speaking would pick me out and say, you know, this is what God says to you. And I thought, well, I can do that, but what's to happen to all the other 600 people who in actual fact don't get picked out? So I felt, why not give everyone a word from God? So that's what I do. I pray over their names. I ask God to give me something for them. It's then put into a little card, into an envelope, and at one of the sessions it is read over them and they get the card to take away with them home.
Oh, that's just amazing that you spend that time and that they have that love and care. So tell us, when is the next Spiritual Health Weekend coming up?
I'm very excited about it. It's coming up on the 2nd to the 4th of February 2024, so it's almost maybe 9 months away or something like that. But yeah, it's going to be held at the De Vere Hotel, Cotswold Water Park Hotel in the Cotswolds, and it's amazing, beautiful hotel, and we're taking over the whole hotel, and we already have 3/4 of that hotel full already, which, considering there's another 9 months to go or whatever, it's quite incredible.
Amazing.
How many are booking in,
Yeah, that is incredible. And we're obviously going through a cost of living crisis in this nation at the moment. I know there might be people listening to this who think, well, I really want to come, but I just can't afford it. Is there a way that they can be helped to come?
Certainly, yes. If you are living below the poverty line, then we have a bursary fund that anyone can apply for. If you go to a group of Christians Against Poverty or a group in your own church, and you can send for a form from us, then we'll send the form to you and you write that form out. You give us a reference from somebody in your church, and we can either provide a full bursary place or a part bursary place depending on the circumstances.
Fantastic. So if all that has whet people's appetites, how can they join you?
Oh, well, that's really simple. But before I tell you that, just to say that the price of the weekend includes all your food.
Of course.
And that goes from Friday evening dinner to after Sunday lunch. It's incredible. And not only that, but we have free teas and coffees and snacks with it. I mean, honestly, it's just incredible. So how can someone join us? Well, basically, you need to go to my website, nancygowdy.com, and you need to look at the Spiritual Health Weekend section, and it tells you in there how you can book. Or you can actually book by phoning up our office, which is 01454 414 880, and any of the girls who are in the office can tell you what rooms are available and also how you can pay the deposit.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nancy, so much for joining me today.
It's really good to be here.